Hey guys, welcome to my first video on meal prepping. This is meal prepping week 1. Basically, we're just going to make a whole bunch of meals in a couple of hours. These meals are focusing on proteins because I don't personally struggle with getting enough carbs in, so I don't always meal prep carbs. But there will be carbs in these meals. It's just going to be a lot of protein packed meals so that when I need a protein and I'm on the go, I can just grab one from the fridge, and it'll be about 7 days worth of proteins with each of the different meals that I'm going to do, so I can kind of add some variety to it. I don't usually meal prep proteins twice a week. I know a lot of people do because they don't like how old it gets. The recipes I'm using last for at least a week in the fridge, and you can also put them in the freezer if you wanted to. So let's go ahead and get started. I'll show you just the basics of what I do, but I'm going to include the recipes in the description of this video so that when you want to make any of these meals, you can follow the recipes along. I won't be giving the exact measurements in this video. This will just kind of go through the layout of how I do it in a couple of hours. So let's get started. So the first thing I'm going to do is preheat my oven to 350, and we're going to bake 2 different kinds of chicken in the oven. So right off the bat, we want to get that preheating, and while that's preheating, we'll prepare our chicken and start in on some of the other meals. Like I said, in the description of this video, I'm going to include the recipes. I will also include a list of everything that I used and all of the meals that I got out of that. We're going to start off by just cutting this chicken, and we're just going to bake it. It's easier. I'm going to cut it into smaller chunks so that it will bake faster, and then put it in some Pyrex dishes. So cut up the chicken. I have 2 Pyrex dishes. I'm going to do 1 batch of chicken that I'm going to use for I'm making chicken salad. Then I'm going to do a second pan of chicken, just plain, for eating with some of the rice that I'm gonna make. So get those ready. And then we will add some stuff in there in the chicken. All right, for this batch of chicken, this chicken is for the chicken salad, so I'm not really gonna do a whole lot to it. I'm just gonna add a little bit of salt. And I almost always add garlic powder and onion powder. And then this chicken is for eating plain or with the rice. So I'm going to add a little bit of salt. I want this to be lemon flavored. I do different things with my chicken to keep it a little bit, keep the variety, because we eat a lot of chicken. A little bit of onion powder. Garlic powder, and then we're going to cut up a lemon. So our oven is still preheating. I've got my chicken over there waiting to put in. The next thing I'm going to do is start some hamburger browning. This is actually turkey burger, because I find it's a little bit cheaper to get lean turkey burger. So we're just going to start that browning. All right, so we have the turkey burger browning, and we just that's a pound of turkey burger on the stove. I've got a pound of turkey burger in here for the meatballs. The oven just got all the way heated, so I put the chicken in, set the timer. Now what we're going to do is mix up the meatballs. So I'm just gonna add all of the ingredients, and then we're going to put those in the slow cooker with the spaghetti squash. Okay, so as soon as you have your meatballs mixed up, just keep an eye on your hamburger that's browning over there. I cut my spaghetti squash in half, and I'm just gonna scrape out the seed section. All right, moving on to the chili. We're gonna start out by getting our second crock pot. I'm using chicken broth, and we're going to put a couple of cups of chicken broth, 2 cups of chicken broth in this crock pot. leave it on high for 6 hours. All right, we're looking at about 15 to 25 minutes before the chicken is done, depending on how long we want to leave it in there in the oven. So I'm going to start getting the chicken salad recipe ready for the chicken that we're going to add to it. It calls for a couple of cups of celery, and I've already shared this recipe with you guys. I absolutely love this recipe. So I'm just going to hurry and throw the ingredients together in this bowl so that it is ready for when the chicken is done. And then we will start on the next recipe after that. All right, the next recipe that I'm going to do really quickly is broccoli salad. And it's not really a protein, it's mostly a vegetable, but it's also sometimes nice to have a vegetable that's just ready to go if you want to get your vegetables in. So here's my broccoli salad. I'll include the recipe for this, but it just has broccoli, carrots, a little bit of sweet onion, some almonds is what I use, and then an apple. And then for the sauce, with both of the sauce for this recipe and for the chicken salad, I'm using plain Greek yogurt, which is adding protein instead of using mayonnaise and sour cream or whatever, which wouldn't really add much protein. It's not quite as good for you. We're still waiting on our chicken. Whipping these recipes out really quick while we wait for that chicken. So I'm just going to mix all of this together, and then this one's ready to go because we don't have anything else to add to it. So I'll mix that up and we'll have another one down. All right, timer just went off on the chicken, so we're going to take the tops off of these pans carefully. Looking delicious. Just going to let that cool for a little while. The next thing that I'm going to do is start the brown rice. I'm not cooking very much this time because this carb is just going to go with the lemon chicken. So I just started that heating up because it takes about 50 minutes. And now we are going to start in on the egg muffins. Okay, like I said, we're going to make egg muffins next. I'm going to use turkey bacon. I love turkey bacon. And since these muffins, this recipe calls for bacon, I'm just going to replace that with turkey bacon. So what you're going to do is take them, a couple of pieces, and set it in the inside of your pan, and then you can just sort of fold it around itself like this. Kind of makes a little basket. And I'm going to use 2 pieces per thing, and we're going to do that, and then we're going to mix up the eggs with some vegetables. And we will bake those next, so make sure you leave your oven on so that you can bake the egg muffins. All right, so here's a dozen eggs, some salt, peppers, and some spinach. And I'm just gonna kind of try to evenly distribute it between the 12 muffin tins. And then I'm gonna bake it for at least 15 minutes, but probably more like 20 minutes at 350. Okay, so we currently have the egg muffins in the oven. We're still watching our brown rice. I turned it on low so that it could simmer for that 50 minutes. Now I'm going to start a dozen eggs boiling. Cover that. It's just for another protein that I can have around, grab especially for breakfast or throw on a salad. So we'll start that. And then I'm going to make some banana muffins really quick, just to add another carb to the meals that we're making. All right, we're still making our banana muffins. Just gonna mix these ingredients together and then add the dry ingredients. You might even be able to hear in the background that our eggs are definitely boiling now, so I set a timer for 7 minutes, which is about how cooked I like boiled eggs. So I'm just gonna mix this ingredients together. Keeping in mind we still have rice that is cooking on the stovetop. We're boiling our eggs, and then we have a timer set for the 20 minutes for the egg muffins, keeping track of all of those things. I'm just going to mix up the banana muffins. It's a good idea to mix muffins up with just a fork. You don't want to mix them too much. So a hand mixer can kind of over mix them. All right, our boiled eggs are done, and the minute your boiled eggs have cooked as long as you want them to, you're going to want to run cold water over the top of them for a few minutes. Just let that run in the pan until it cools off the water. If you leave them in hot water, they'll just continue to cook. So I'm going to run cold water on those, and then it's just about time to take the egg muffins out. I just checked the egg muffins, and I'm going to give them a few more minutes. I like my eggs to be all the way cooked. So we're going to take this quick little break while we're waiting for those and cut up the chicken for the chicken salad so that we can complete that recipe. And then there is about 17-18 minutes left on the brown rice. So we're getting really close to being done with that. And then, like I said, as soon as we take our egg muffins out, we're going to put our banana muffins in. So we'll just cut this chicken up first. All right, and here are our egg muffins with about 13 minutes left on the timer. Before the rice is done, we're just gonna get these out of the pan. Looks like some of them might have stuck just a little bit. I'm just gonna take these out. And then we're going to throw in our banana muffins now that the oven is free. All right, I washed the pan a little bit, so it took me a few minutes, but now the banana muffins are ready to go into the oven. You're gonna wanna bake them for about 20 minutes at 400. So turn up the oven just a little bit from the last muffins. And then the brown rice, the timer just went off on the brown rice. So while these are baking in the oven, we're going to put all of the other food into our containers. Okay, so at this point, we've been just a little over 2 hours with our meal prep, and we're gonna have to wait for the muffins. So we're gonna go ahead, and while we're waiting, we're just gonna put all of these things in our containers, and we wanna keep in mind that we still have our 2 crock pot recipes going. We don't have any more hands-on time for those, but we do have to wait for them to finish, and they're gonna have still probably 2 to 3 hours left on those. So I'm just gonna put all of this in my little meal prepping containers, and then we'll just wait for the muffins. All right, I pulled the muffins out of the oven. So we're pretty much done with all of the actual hands-on work. We're just waiting on our 2 crock pot recipes. But at this point, we're pretty much done with all of the meal prep. And so at the end, I'll show you all of the meals and in the containers and everything as soon as my crock pot recipes have completely cooked all of the way. Hey guys, so I just finished putting all of the meals inside of the containers. I had to wait a little while for both of the crock pot recipes, but they turned out really good and I'm really excited about it. So that was just week 1 of meal prepping, and there's gonna be 4 more weeks that are similar to that, just so you guys can get the idea of it, and then you can start throwing your own recipes in and doing your own thing. But it's really helpful and it's a lot of fun to get it all over with in one big swoop. And then on top of what I've meal prepped today, I'll just keep around a lot of fruits, fresh fruits that I can grab, and I keep around Greek yogurt so that if I need another protein like that, I can throw it in there, and then lots of vegetables. And so thanks for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it.